Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? I didn't check your exam yet. I'm going to give you back next week. And about what you're going to do is we didn't do section 13.3. So we are going to do section 13.3 and we'll start reviewing for the final exam. So we have 2 more classes left after today. My plan is to give you as much review as possible so that you can do well in your final exam. Our final exam will be on 18th, sorry, not 18th, 17th, which is week after next week. So 17th, 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Any question, comments, concern? Nothing. So section 13.3 talks about solving non-linear system of equations. System of equations means we have more than one equation to work with. For now, you're going to work with only 2 equations. But if you take high level math, you're going to work with more than 2 equations, like 3 equations or 4 equations. Especially if you take linear algebra or matrix algebra, we work with more than 2 system of equations. Now, when we are trying to solve system of equations, it means we are trying to see where the 2 equations intersect. Wherever they intersect, that's the solution for system of equations. We have a few ways of finding the solution. One of the method is graphing method, but if you try to graph them manually by hand, you may not get correct answer. That's why when we try doing them by hand, instead of using graphing method, we try to use other methods. For example, our first method is called substitution. In substitution method, we substitute one variable with the equation for that variable in the other equation. So let's do one example by following the steps. It says solve one of the equations for each variable, for either variable. In our case, one of the variable is already solved. We have y alone in one side. So y is same as x squared. What you're going to do, we are going to substitute this y with the x squared here. That's why this method is called substitution, because you're going to substitute one variable with the equation for the other variable, with the equation with the other variable. So if you substitute y with x squared, we get 2x plus x squared equals 15. And now we have equation with one variable only. And since we have highest degree 2, we bring everything to one side because our goal is to factor. So we subtract 15 from both sides. And let's write them in decreasing power order. So we have x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. And now it became a simple quadratic equation. Can we factor this equation? Two numbers multiply to 15, combine to 2. 5 and 3. How about the signs? Positive 5, negative 3. So now we know how to solve. We set each of them equals 0, and we get 2 x values. But our equation here is not only x, but also y. So we need to know for each x, what is the y value. So we go to the first equation. We replace x with negative 5 to see what y gives us. Y is x squared. It means it's negative 5 squared. What is negative 5 squared? 25. So the solution we get from this is the point x value negative 5, y value 25. This is our one solution. But we have another x to work with. X is 3, and we know our y is x squared. That gives us 3 squared. So another solution we get from here is the x3, y9. So if you want to write down the solution together, we have negative 5, positive 25, and positive 3, positive 9. Oops. If you want to see visually what is happening, I can show you their graph. Y equals x squared is a parabola, and 2x plus y equals 15 means y is negative 2x minus 15. It's a line that is going downward. So we have a parabola here and another line that is going down. The solutions are their intersection. So see, they are intersecting one another twice. This point will be negative 5, positive 25, and this point will be 3, 9. This is what it means. You don't have to draw the graph. I showed you the graph to tell you what solution means. Any question? Was any step unclear or confusing? So this method is called substitution. We substitute one variable with another variable into one of the equations. We solve for the variable. We substitute back again into another equation to solve for other variable. The second method is called elimination. In real life, elimination means you're eliminating something. Good morning.
Yeah. I was in the bathroom for 20 minutes. My son was there.
Oh man, are you okay now?
But you're in a banner for 1 minute? Yeah. That's what it was. Fine.
Done.
So what do we got? That's what we got.
Next week. I didn't have time.
It's all right.
Mhm.
Listen, did you start bid?
Hmm?
Did you get any ones yet?
I'll do it over the weekend. Can I flip my page? The second method is elimination. In elimination, we eliminate one variable and keep the other variable and do the same thing. From the other variable, we solve for the variable. Once we get the variable, we put it back into one of the equation to get the other variable. So in order to eliminate anything, we have to have the same exact thing with opposite sign. For example, if you want to eliminate x, you need a negative x. If you want to eliminate, let's say, negative 2x, you have to have positive 2x. So the requirement to eliminate is that they have to have the exact same variable with exact same number coefficient in the front, but their signs must be opposite. So if you don't have the same thing with opposite sign, you're going to do something so that you can have same thing with opposite sign. But when you have the same thing, then it's simple work. Blah, 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 blah. For example, here, we have x squared plus y, x squared minus y is 3, and 2x squared plus y is 9. Do you see one variable, the same variable with same coefficient with opposite sign?
Why?
Y. So if we add the two equations, we can eliminate the y. That's why this is called elimination process. We eliminate one variable. And in order to do that, we add the two equations so that the positive y cancels with the negative y. So if you add x squared with 2x squared, what do you get? 3x squared. No more y's. And if you add 9 with 3, what do you get? 12. So we have 3x squared equals 12. Our goal is to get this x alone. What do we do? Divide by 3, both sides. They cancel out. We get x squared is 4. Square root. So basically we are asking what number when you square turn into 4? Only 2? It's plus 2 and minus 2.
So, no, it's two and negative two, but when do you like not? I forgot when you use it and when you not. So I was gonna say negative.
If you only have a number to work with, no variable, only the number, then it's positive 2. But if you're looking for a variable, what is the variable? And you take the square root. Now square root of 4 is not alone. It has a variable on the other side. That time it has two choices. Either is plus 2 or minus 2. So we found two x values. That means we have two y values for each one of them. So we take one variable. Let's say, so not variable, one equation. So 2x squared plus y equals 9. our goal is to get the y alone because we need to solve for y. So subtract 2x squared from both sides, and we get y is 9 minus 2x squared. Our first x is 2, so we are going to substitute x with 2. When x is 2, our y is 9 minus 2 times 2 squared. So we get 2 squared is 4. In other words, we have 9 minus a, that gives us 1. So when x is 2, we get the y value 1. So this is one solution. But we're not done because we have another x value. When our x is negative 2, y is 9 minus 2 times negative 2 squared. So we do the same thing, and eventually we get the same exact number. So putting them together gives us 2, 1, and negative 2, 1. We do the same thing, but using two methods. The first method was substitution, where we substituted y with x squared, and in here is elimination. We got rid of the y, solve for x, and then once we got some result for x, we substitute them back into one of the equation. Which equation you take, it doesn't matter, you get the same result. And you can always check by substituting into both equations, the two numbers, and see if we have the same result. Any question? Are you guys done copying? Okay. Next one is little bit different. It's little bit different because our powers are not same for the variable. In the first equation, we have x squared, y squared. But in the second equation is x and y. So it's up to you which method you want to use, but we cannot use actually elimination method, because elimination method requires the exact same thing with opposite sign. And here we have y squared and y, so you cannot convert the y into y squared. It's not possible. So substitution is the best choice. Substitution. That means we are going to solve for one variable from one equation and then substitute it back into the other equation. So solving for which variable would be easier? What do you think? Y? Yes, you can solve for y, but y has a negative sign in the front, right? So which one will be even more easier? X, because x is already positive. So we take this one, and you can solve for either x or y, doesn't matter, but I want to solve for x because my x is positive. So all you have to do is add y to both sides. We get x equals y plus 1. That means since x means y plus 1, we can substitute that here for this x. Right? because x squared means y plus 1 squared, because our x is y plus 1. So we have x squared plus y squared equals 41. I'm not going to write x squared. Instead, we are going to replace that with y plus 1. So it's y plus 1 squared plus y squared equals 41. I substituted x for y plus 1 because x is the y plus 1 in this equation. So you're going to use FOIL. You get y squared plus 2y plus 1. You also have another y squared equals 41. Y plus 1 square means y plus 1 times y plus 1. So y squared plus y plus y plus 1. That gives you y squared plus 2y plus 1. If you observe, we have like terms. And also, we are going to subtract 41 from both sides. So combine this and subtract the number. We get 2y squared plus 2y minus 40 equals 0. Any questions so far? Was any step confusing? Now, what do you observe in the new equation? Alexis. All of these are even numbers, so you can divide all of them by 2. Oh. So we have y squared plus y minus 20 equals 0. And now we like it because it's simple quadratic, not too hard to factor. What two numbers multiply to 20 combined to 1? The sign? Positive 594. That tells us our y is negative 5 and it's positive 4. Which part, guys? Ask me, I'll help you. Which part? Which part? Don't be shy. Come on. Since we know our y, that means now we need to know our x. So we can use the formula that x is y plus 1. So whatever we have for y, our x is 1 unit more. For the first one, our y is negative 5. That tells us x is negative 5 plus 1. That gives us negative 4. For the second one, our y is 4. So x is 4 plus 1, which is positive 5. So the solution we get for the first one, x is negative 4, y is negative 5. For the second one, x is 5, y is 4. So it's negative 4, negative 5, and positive 5, positive 4. You want to see visually what is happening? This is the story. We have a circle. The first one is a circle. And the second one is a line. The line is y equals x plus, and the line is going upward. So they're intersecting twice. One is -4, -5, and one is 5, 4. So circle is x squared plus y squared equals 41, and the line is x minus y is 1. Any question? Okay. This one is easy. You try by yourself. Actually, you can see the answer. You can check. You can even see it's too blurry. So try this by yourself. This is easier. You can use elimination here easily.
No.
I feel like something is wrong with this equation. How can radius be -39? It doesn't make sense. Yes. I believe it has to be plus. No, I said I believe the 39 has to be plus, otherwise it doesn't make sense. How can radius be negative? Radius is a...
Try to square it, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it cannot be negative. We had two circles.
Yeah.
And how can...
Not right. This is 89 minus 79. We get 50.
Yeah, so probably this is wrong. And we're supposed to have two solutions, not 4. 1, 2 circle. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's not a circle. Yeah. The second one is not a circle. And now solve for the other variable by substituting both of them. The second one actually is not a circle. My bad. The first one is a circle, second one is not, because they have a minus between them. Let's see. Let's see, what do we have? If we add, they cancel out. We have 2x squared is 50. Let's see. We divide by 2. That gives us x squared is 25. That tells us x is plus 5 minus 5. So it doesn't matter which equation you take, we're supposed to get the same answer. So let's say we're taking the first one, because in the first one, our y is positive. So subtract x squared. We get y squared is 89 minus x squared. But you're looking for y, not y squared. So take the square root, and we get two choices, plus minus square root of 89 minus x squared. So x is 5, y is plus minus 89 minus 5 squared. $89 minus 25, 64, we get plus minus 8. That means when our x is 5, we have two y values. One is negative 8, and another one is positive 8. One y value gives us two x values. Sorry, other way around. One x value gives us two y values. We do the same thing for other x. When x is negative 5, y is plus minus square root of 89 minus negative 5 square. Hemda says do this first. So y is plus minus 89 minus same thing. So again, we have our x value negative 5. Down one. Our x value is negative 5. Y is, one of them is positive 8. The other one is negative 8. Combining them, we get our 4 solutions. Was any part unclear or confusing? I don't think so. Not everything should be unclear. You know, if you keep saying you're dumb, then one day you really will become dumb. Nope, you're not there. With this, we are done with the syllabus. So you covered everything in the syllabus. I didn't go over distance with you, but I went over with my other class and I sent you the link. So you should know how to find the distance between 2 points. You must memorize the formula and plug the numbers in there. So our homework and quiz, all of them due by 11, I think, if I'm not wrong. Because our last day of class is next week, Thursday. So next week, Thursday, we'll have our last class. I want to have all the score by 11 so that on next Thursday, I can tell you how much you need to have in the final exam to pass this class. So make sure you complete whatever you need to complete by before 11. What score? Oh, I have your score.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying like after like our words are scored. Does computer automatically tell you?
What's your grade so far doesn't matter, because if you fail the final exam, you fail the class anyway.
I mean, yeah, but I can't.
It's not hard, but it's the entire syllabus. So people don't get time to study all the materials, restudy all the materials for the final.
Oh, no.
So instead of telling you what you're currently standing, I am more interested in telling you what do you need in the final exam to pass this class. Because that's the important thing. How much you need to have in the final to pass. And you have to have at least 50 in the final. At least 50. It's a minimum requirement. But based on your in-class performance, some of you may need 80 in the final to pass this class. Some of you may need 90 in the final. Okay. So depending on your class average, your final exam score will be different for everyone.
So why are you saying the finals matter? Your finals do matter, but I think your class has to matter.
Everything in this class matters. The homework and quiz, they are 20%. The in-class exam, 50%. Final exam is 30%. Yeah, 19 and 20 doesn't make that big difference. So I'm warning you, if you are willing to do any homework and quiz, make sure you complete everything before next Wednesday. Aditya. Huh? All of them are open, even though the due date are different, but you can still work on them. Last day for everything is on 11. So even though they have a due date, but still the final due date is on 11. Okay. Any other question? Huh? Honor system? It does probably. I'm not sure. I don't know. Every school has an honor system, so we're supposed to have one. But I never taught any honor classes. I have no idea. Every school's supposed to have one.
Okay, so how would you say what would make you a top 10% not? That's insane.
I don't know. Not really.
Not really.
No.
Average student, I think 70% power. You would have to go above and beyond.
And it also has something to do with luck. Luck. If you're lucky, they don't look at other things. Okay, so my plan is to have review for all the time we have left. So I want to go over everything from the beginning, from chapter whatever we did first. So we are going to do that from next class, but today we are going to do a sample test. Okay. I'm going to go over a sample and then you have some idea how the final exam will be. Ready? Before that, let me tell you a bit news. My YouTube channel got terminated. Someone else reported me for another video. So I had 2 strikes, and last night someone else did another strike. So now I don't have any YouTube channel.
You can't get it back.
I don't know.
Wait. Don't you send all your recordings or playlists?
Everything is gone.
No.
Huh? Yeah, copyright.
Unless they're.
Huh?
I don't even type videos.
Even the private one, I don't know why, but they still did check down.
I have a question. Wow, why don't you have 2 separate channels? One for doing whatever illegal content, one for post online, one for like posting your.
I didn't think about that before, so I just put everything there.
Small as that. Okay.
So do you still have our old like math videos recorded? Can you?
I have not even Zoom. They deleted everything. I have only everything from August something. So all of my classes, I have taught so far, I have nothing.
So how many years of content is that?
5 years.
Can you please appeal, please? You could appeal that.
Yeah, but what is the bro? But what was the reason?
3 strikes.
Is it because of the anime?
That's the thing I don't understand. I uploaded those videos long time ago. Why I'm getting strike now for those videos?
That's why.
Can I appeal for those? Like I didn't upload them recently. I uploaded them long time ago, like at least a year ago or 8 months ago. Yeah, like how would I have known that they're gonna strike me? Like clearly on YouTube it says owners allowed you to use the content. So that's why I'm using them. But now suddenly it's strike. I'm like, come on.
Reason why I know you have like reposted content and what?
That's what I'm talking about. All those enemies, like whatever they allow, I'm allowed to have it. Whatever they don't allow, they block it from the beginning. Like whenever I upload, they just block it. So whatever I have from a video like 1 year ago, someone struck me last night saying, "Oh, it's my video." Well, obviously it's your video. I didn't make the enemy, right?
No, but it's
So,
like some people repost content, right? They don't like the fact that you're.
Yeah.
I'm not even earning money from them.
Yeah, but people still see you as competition. So that we can accept it. I understand that they don't see it, right? Like some people are weird.
Yeah.
And honestly, you should have had a separate channel.
No, mostly
I should have.
but we still get our right?
Word.
Yeah. Right. Well,
Word.
right?
Oh yeah,
But that was
everybody knows that. Oh yeah, those 3 points you put.
We were there begging for that.
Was it so?
Let me see if it appears. Wait.
If I didn't even have a channel, what's the point?
Professor, on your last test, I wrote your name correctly. I forgot to put an extra N at the so it was supposed to be J and
Oh, you're gone.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I know this game.
I have our class this semester. I have everything this semester, but anything before this semester, I have nothing.
And we can't find those videos of you. Even if you look them.
No, they deleted everything. But my calculus class, pre-calculus class, matrix algebra, man, like all this class I taught, like
Wait.
I have no content anymore.
Algebra 1030? 1030 class, but they're also on like on your.
From our class only.
Oh.
From this semester. I have everything from this semester.
Terminate everyone else's class and Alex gets still like.
Okay, she's clearly leaving, guys. Right. Damn.
I know. Yeah, like when I woke up, the first thing I saw is that news.
That
I
was
was
me
like,
when I woke up
man.
and thought my grades were.
At least you can change your grade, but what I can do about the termination?
For testing, you can't take your grade.
That's because.
Yeah.
Second test.
Oh, so it's just someone.
Even if you cannot the third one, you can do oil in the final. Your passing grade is 60. So as long as you have 50,
Yeah, but why do
you'll
you want
pass.
60? You're gonna send you to summer school. Yo, our C tutor said that if you get a below a C minus, you're gonna send you to tutoring. So you should tell me.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we can't get a minus. That's the overall in the class.
Or you go to
Wow.
actually 2 weeks of tutoring, bro.
In
They just treat you
January.
like you're like a dumbass.
No, not really.
Yeah.
You think tutoring is bad? Of course not.
Yeah, but why do they always say C minus and under? Why don't they say everyone?
Because C minus means you need more help than the people who
Yeah.
got B. No, it's not drama. It's like you didn't understand the concept oil. Okay, anyway, I don't want to talk.
You consider those things, right?
Huh?
Yeah, but you don't want more help. If you want to spend extra 3 weeks in the winter, do more tutoring.
If you want to learn, you are willing to spend extra time. But if you don't want to learn, it's up to you.
Are you gonna make another channel for this?
I'm thinking of doing that.
And you can make it like math, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, only for math.
But maybe you
Hopefully you don't get math on that.
but should we do like teaching on God? It's just something where people would actually subscribe.
But post it on TikTok and you can actually make money on it.
I don't have TikTok. Okay, anyway. So,
You make it bigger, I can't see a single word.
Yeah.
Arigato.
how about this? We have a graph. We need to find out the domain and the range. Do you remember the domain? Domain represent what? X and Y. X. What? What happened to my pen? Give me 1 second.
Wait, have you ever actually made money off of your channel? Not a single dollar.
I did not have enough subscriber.
Then how much subscribers do you have? Do you need to have to get them?
In order to have ad or something, you need to have 500. And then if you want to make real money, then it's 1,000.
Oh, really? Professor, I'll buy your YouTube channel, your new one. I'll spend like $5 on some fishy website. You make it all. Oh, no, I swear. It's $12 we match. $3 that like 25,000. It's crazy. It's a holograph.
Oh man, it's right.
Can I see the photos?
I'm trying to fix it. Give me 1 second. Can I erase everything? Oh, I can.
That's like, okay, to like, how somebody to break the girl because I'm feeling
Oh, yeah, Professor.
Hmm?
You hear about the You hear about the shooting?
I only heard a little. I don't know the reason.
How you bring us as okay, she's reading.
Don't worry, don't worry.
I had my own homework, so I couldn't have time. Next week, most likely. I didn't even look at the exam, so I have no idea. The second one, the first exam was bad. The first time was bad. Second time was much better than the first time. Remember, you took second exam twice. So the second one was much better than the first one. I don't know, but the scores in the second one was much better than the first one. I don't remember the exact score. Bless you. Okay, whatever I have, let's do this. And then I'll do more. Yeah. How come I can't erase this? Okay. So domain is the X, from the smallest X to the largest X. Santiago, no phone. Kevin, no phone. So the smallest X value, we don't know because the graph is going forever on the left side. So we have negative infinity. And on the right side, the graph is also going forever. So a positive infinity. So domain is from negative to positive infinity. How come this doesn't work? I hate this. And how about the range? The smallest y to the largest y. The smallest y value is going down forever, so negative infinity. And largest y value we see is 8. So from negative infinity to 8. And I can't work here. So which option is this? A, B, C, or D? Or E? D, right? Negative to positive infinity. And our range is from negative infinity to positive 8. And 8 has a bracket. Why not parentheses? So it's a continuous graph. Every point in the continuous graph has to have a bracket. If you have a hole, then it's parentheses. If you don't have a hole, then it's bracket. X to the 4 minus x squared minus 20 equals 0. Do you remember seeing this?
Yeah.
Which exam? First or second? Second.
Second.
The first question in the second exam was this.
Right, you said something about time. After the exam,
The requirement is that if the bigger power is 2 times the smaller power, then it's quadratic. So we have x to the 4 minus x squared minus 20 equals 0. We can factor just like quadratic. But here, what would be our variable? X squared, not 4. We always take the smaller one in factoring. So it's x squared and x squared. So when you multiply them, it becomes x to the 4. And which two numbers multiplied to 20 combined to 1? 5 and 4. The signs? Negative 5, positive 4. 5 has to be negative because the middle sign is negative. The bigger number always gets the middle sign. That means we have x squared minus 50 and x squared plus 40. So we have x squared is 5. Maybe because can I do it here? Okay. X squared is 5 and x squared is negative 4. You take the square root. So x is
Plus root of 5 and minus
plus square root of 5 minus square root of 5. Really? Anytime we have a negative under the square root, we always get something imaginary, not real. So it's plus 2i minus 2i. So answer is B. Plus 2i minus 2i plus root 5 minus root 5. And one of these, every type of question, one of these you'll see in the final exam. So definitely one of these. Ready? Next one is inequality. We have x squared minus 4x bigger than or equal to 21. What is our first step? We want to see 0 in one side. Otherwise, how do you know what you're looking for? Positive or negative? So we are going to subtract 21 from both sides. That gives us x squared minus 4x minus 21 bigger than or equal to 0. So we factor, that will give us x-intercept. What two numbers multiply to 21 combined to 4? 3 and 7. How about the signs? Negative 7 because middle is negative and 3 has to be plus. So the two x-intercept we get is x equals 7 and x equals negative 3. What we are looking for? Bigger than 0 or equals 0 means what? Positive or negative? Which one? Positive. And our inequality has an equal sign. So what would be our boundary? Parentheses or bracket? Bracket. So you have two choices. Either you draw a number line, negative infinity, positive infinity, somewhere negative 3, 7. And then you pick a number from each interval. Or you can simply draw a graph. It's a parabola. What type of parabola? Upward or upside down? Upward because our x-y is positive. So we have an upward parabola. Our two x-intercepts are negative 3 and positive 7. Bigger than 0 means above x-axis. So which portion is lying above the x-axis? So for this portion, we have x value is here. What is the interval? Negative infinity to negative 3. And for this portion, this is the x value we have. 7 to positive infinity. Can I erase this? Yeah. So which of these choices? D. So you must show the work. If you don't show the work just from the x-intercept, if you get the give me your choices, 0. Look at your exam 2. I did not give point in your exam 2 if you didn't show the correct work for how do you find the interval. So I'm warning you, don't do half and the other half you do mentally and expect me to give you the point for that. In order for me to give you the point, I want to see your correct work.
Okay, so what's gonna be partial credit for theory test?
Huh?
So you're gonna like take off points for the test?
Yeah. There are a few questions you are allowed to have partial credit, and then 2 pages, no partial credit allowed.
If the final have multiple choice.
Multiple choice like these questions, but no credit if you don't show your correct work. That's like my in-pass exam. I gave you multiple choice, but if the work is not correct, it's 0. Same thing here. Okay, the next one from our third exam. Find the equation of the tangent line to the circle. So we have a circle. What is the center of the circle? 0, 0. And we have a point -3, -4. Probably somewhere here. -3, -4. So the line from center to the circumference is radius. They want us to find the equation of the line that is tangent to the circle. Means it touches our circle at one point and it's perpendicular to the radius. What is the equation of this line? So who remembers the first step? Aditya. Who said what? We want to know the slope of the radius. Because whatever slope we have for the radius, its opposite slope will be for the tangent line. So slope of the radius, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We have the 2 points. One is 0, 0. One is -3, -4. So we have -4 minus 0 over -3 minus 0. That gives us -4 over -3, which is 4 over 3. So this is the slope for the radius, 4 over 3. That will help us. My color is too bad. That will help us to find the slope of the tangent line. What is the slope of the tangent line? If radius has slope 4/3, the slope of the tangent line will have -3/4. They are completely opposite and reciprocal of one another. So tangent line goes through -3, -4 with the slope -3/4. Y minus y1 slope x minus x1. Y minus -4 -3/4 x minus -3. So y plus 4, this turn into a plus. So we get -3/4 x -3/4 times 3. When you multiply a fraction with a non-fraction, we multiply only the top. So subtract 4 from both sides. We get y equals -3/4 of x minus 9/4 minus 4. These both are negative, so you're going to keep the negative sign, but actually you're going to add the numbers. So in order to add numbers, we have to have the same denominator. Our first denominator has 4. We want the same 4 below this. But you cannot just randomly put 4 on the bottom. We also have to put 4 on the top. Guys, your final exam is coming. Please talk after you get out of the classroom, not here. So we have from here -9, -16. That gives us -25 over 4. So y is -3/4 of x minus 25/4. 25 and 4, do they have anything in common? Can you divide 4 by 5? One is odd, one is even, not possible. So see, one of these always come in the final exam. So I expect to see one of these. And definitely one of the inequality. Everything you're doing here, you'll see one of these in your final exam. Any question? The next one is from the very beginning. Exponent rules. We have 2x squared with a -2, 5x -3 with a +2. Who remembers the first step? We distribute the exponent, both on the top and on the bottom. So we get 2 to the -2, x squared to the -2. 5 to the 2, x to the -3 to the 2. If you have two powers together, what do we do with them? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Roger, no fun. Huh? Multiplication. So 2 with the -2, x to the -4. 5 with the +2, x to the -6. Now, don't do anything until you convert all the negative into positive. Do you remember? So this has a negative. We need to bring it down. This has a negative, we need to bring down. 6 has a negative, we need to bring up. Anything has a negative, change their position. If something doesn't have a negative, you need to keep that in that position. So from the numerator, x to the negative 2 goes on the bottom and becomes x to the 2 to the positive 2. Then x to the negative 4 goes on the bottom, becomes x to the positive 4. On the denominator 5 square, it stays, and x to the negative 6, it needs to go up. So we have 25 times 4. And what happens in the division is subtract the power. What from what? 6 from 4. So we keep our 6, we subtract the 4th power. That tells us we have x squared on the top. And what is 25 times 4? 100. So these are our final exam. Which choice? A, B, C, D, E. A. So if you did correct work but chose the wrong one, department actually told us to mark you wrong. So make sure you pick the correct choice. If you did the correct work but choose the wrong answer, department told us to give you wrong, give you 0. One of these will be in the final. Any question? How come many of you are not taking notes, guys? Roger, why are you not taking notes? You already know I don't have any YouTube anymore, right? So you don't even know whether you're gonna see this video again or not.
Yeah, but you have the content, so you're gonna repost that.
What content?
You have for the rest of the class want to see it, you're obviously gonna post it.
If I want to punish you, I'm not gonna post anything.
Huh?
Because if I post, every video takes at least 30 minutes to load.
No.
So do you think I have enough time to load everything again?
Listen, you know you can. Just send it to my house and I just post it on YouTube channel. I have like revised it, so like I have like really good internet. If your internet is actually that bad, I could actually.
I'm trying to help you guys here. Make sure you write down all these questions. Because if you want to pass this class, you have to pass the final exam. And all of these you're going to see again in the final exam. Obviously, the numbers will be different, but the questions will be very similar. The next one, find the equation of the perpendicular line of this equation that goes to the point 5,1. It's from chapter 3. What is our step 1? They gave us this line because this will tell us what would be the slope of the perpendicular line. So we need slope of this line. And to see the slope, we need to convert this into y equals mx plus b format. So you can add 5x or 2y, it doesn't matter. We get negative 2y is 5x minus 3. We want the y to be alone. So I divide everything individually by negative 2. That tells us our y is negative 5/2x, positive 3/2. So this is, did I do something wrong?
You're not. You're not negative.
So this is the slope of this line. Slope of this line. That tells us slope of perpendicular line is positive 2/5. Great. And it goes to the point 5, 1. So you find the equation. Y minus y1 slope x minus x1. Y minus 1 slope is 2/5 x minus 5. 5, right? Yeah. So y minus 1, 2/5 of x minus 2/5 of 5. Now this is much easier. The 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom, they cancel out. So we have y minus 1 is 2/5 of x minus 2. To get the y alone, what is our last step? Add 1. So let's see, 2/5 of x minus 1. So see 2/5 here, here, and here. 3 of these has 2/5. So just because you see 2/5, it doesn't mean you got your answer already. Nope. You also need to find the y-intercept. Once you find the y-intercept, now you know your answer is only the last one.
I like how the autos this one is like really on. Like I was gonna say like these questions they're really on the last.
We have similar questions in every exam, every final exam. So you'll see one of these. Find the equation of the perpendicular line. So far we've seen, let's see, 4th degree polynomial, inequality, tangent line, so 3, exponent 4, perpendicular line 5, and now comes the radical equation. Let me warn you, if you select an answer by substituting the choices in the equation, the answer will be 0. Because it says solve for x. It did not solve for x.
Yeah.
You checked your answer, but you didn't solve. So you didn't follow the direction.
Okay.
It's not my rule, it's the departmental rule.
We just like I just want So
We have 2x minus 2 equals x minus 1. Since we have square root alone, if it's not alone, first you have to have square root term alone. Only then you can square both sides.
yeah,
2x minus 2. What do we do on the other side? Well, good job. X minus 1 times x minus 1. That will give you x squared minus 2x plus 1. Once you have everything, what do you do? No. We solve, but what is our step? We bring everything to one side. So subtract 2x, add the 2. So 0 equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. Two numbers multiply to 3, combine to 4. What are they? -3 and -1. X minus 3, 0 gives us x is 3. X minus 1, 0 gives us x is 1. Just because you see both of them in C, it doesn't mean it's the answer. You must check because sometimes one of the answer doesn't work. So you must check the answer. And you do it in the original one. 2x minus 2 supposed to give you x minus 1. So when our x is 3, we get 2 times 3 minus 2, supposed to gives us 3 minus 1. So 6 minus 2 is square root of 4 is 2. And on the other side, we have 3 minus 2, which is 2. We have the same number, so we're going to accept x minus 3. When x is 1, we have square root of 2 times 1 minus 2. That's supposed to give us 1 minus 1. So 2 minus 2 and 1 minus 1 is 0. That gives us 0 is 0. So in this case, yep, we accept both. Go ahead. I don't have any practice test, but my MATLAB does. Oh, sorry, you don't have my MATLAB access. I have some practice from the department, I think. I'll post them.
I really don't want some.
I'll post some from the department. The department gave us some, I think. So I'll just. Are you guys done? Done. The equation is y equals 3 to the negative x. Which one? So observe the original one. Y equals 3x. If this is y equals 3 to the x, y equals 3 to the negative x will be what? Is it reflection about x-axis or y-axis? Which one? So x squared is this, negative x squared is that. If you have a negative sign in the front of the function, your reflection is about what? If you have a negative in the front, your reflection is about x, right? But here you have a negative in the function. If you have in the function, it's about y.
You should know more. I keep forgetting. What is what?
See? So if you reflect there, this portion goes here.
Yeah.
Let me change the color. Here. And the down part goes there. Because your mirror is the y. So this one makes sense. So for graphing questions, always draw the original one and compare the original one with whatever is given. See, one exponential. So you'll have two graphs, one from the exponential, one from the log. Oh, three graphs actually. Exponential, log, and parabola. Oh, four graph, I forgot. Exponential, log, parabola, and one from cubic or square root or absolute value. Yeah. Okay, the next one, rational equation. What do we do? Put everything in one side. It will be easier. So subtract 5 over x from both sides. We get 2 minus 3 over x squared minus 5 over x equals 0. What do we need now? LCD. So what's the LCD between x and x squared? Bigger one, x squared. So first one doesn't have any denominator. We put x squared on both top and bottom. The second one already has x squared, so you leave it alone. The third one, what is missing in the third one? Good, so multiply top and bottom by x. And now we are happy. We put them together. 2x squared minus 3 minus 5x equals 0. But the order is wrong, so we are going to write them in correct order. 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Our goal is to either factor or use quadratic formula. We don't need the denominator, so we multiply both sides by x squared so that we don't have to work with the denominator. And we get 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. If you do want to use AC method, then if you do want to do factoring, then you choose AC method. But I seen some of you did AC method in a cool way. So I want to show all of you this method. We have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. So cool AC methods. It's different than the usual AC method. In this method, we are going to multiply A with the C and replace the C with that. So A and C, 2 times negative 3 gives us negative 6. So we are going to write negative 6 here, 5x, and instead of 2x squared, it's only x squared. Okay. So we're gonna replace two things. The 2x squared turn into only x squared because we don't want the coefficient, and the -3 turn into AC. And now we can factor easily. Which two numbers multiply to -6 combine to -5? 3 and 3 doesn't work actually. 1 and 6, because the sign doesn't work here. So -6, +1. So we solve for variable. We get x equals 6, x equals -1. But see, we turned 2x squared into x squared. So where did the 2 go? It went somewhere, right? Now it's time for the 2 to come back. We divide both answer by 2. And that's our answer. So we get x is 3 and x is -1/2. 3, -1/2, our choice is E. So if you hate AC method, this is actual. I know, this is not normal AC method.
Can you tell me about the R?
Come and show me. Both of you can come, no problem.
There you go. Here.
Exactly. This is what we do.
Like this? I would put on that part.
And then you take x is a common factor. Not only x, we have 2 of them, right? So 2x is a common factor. And then you left with x plus 1. And from here to get -3, you left with x plus 1.
Okay.
So this is the cool AC method.
Wait.
Me too. I didn't know that until I saw their work. I'm like, oh, cool.
You also didn't know this, but
No, this method I never knew that because this is not normal AC method. Someone invented this. So one of the rationale you'll see in your final. Any question on this question? Any question from anyone? No. The next one is multiplying radical. We have 2 square root of 5 minus 3. 2 square root of 5 plus 3. What do you observe? You can FOIL, but let's say you don't want to FOIL. Conjugate. See, we have the exact same two things. 2 square root of 5, 2 square root of 5. 3 and 3. So if we have the exact same two things with their sign different in the middle, one is minus, one is plus. These are called conjugate. So basically it's the first one squared minus second one squared. Yes, you can use FOILing method, but this is much easier. We have 2 square root of 5 squared minus 3 squared. We love conjugate because of this. We don't have to use FOIL. So what do we do now? We distribute the power, right? Anytime we have more than one thing in our base, we distribute. So we get 2 squared square root of 5 squared. And what is c squared? 9. Simple. What is square root of 5 squared? Only 5 because they cancel out. So we have 20 minus 9. That gives us. If you conjugate, don't waste your time by multiplying them. Just use the squares, perfect squares.
So you say some people have to get an idea of this stuff. Okay.
Because of the in-class low scores.
Oh yeah, I have a question, bro. How do you expect them to get a high score honors?
It actually does happen. It happened before. I remember someone needed 98. So I was so sure that that person gonna fail. But some miracle happens.
Wait, so how
And
start you create in the bottom?
I mean, if you really focus on the final exam, you can pass with 100. So that person, she failed every in-class exam, but miraculously got 100% in the final exam without cheating.
How do you start here?
She was sitting in front of me.
Wait, I thought you said that test is someone else at all.
You know, I do.
Oh,
But someone else come and then check everyone's watch and then everything else.
oh, so you should be like a teacher helper, like the one like you be under.
Miss, can you consider?
So yeah.
Professor, but you know what you can walk around, see what people are answering questions, and you see them doing wrong, you give them like a sad face, show you how they're doing.
Okay, we are dividing imaginary numbers. Unfortunately, we don't know how to divide. So what do we do? 5 plus 2y divided by 3 minus 4i. We need to multiply by conjugate at the denominator.
Yeah.
Conjugate means the same two things, but their signs are different. So on the bottom we have 3 minus 4i. Its conjugate is 3 plus 4i. So conjugate. We love conjugate because of the question we just did. The denominator, we don't have to FOIL them out because it's simply 3 squared minus 4i squared. 3 squared gives us 9, and we distribute the square, so it's 4 squared I squared. What is I squared? -1. So we have 9 minus 16 times -1. -16 times -1 turn into a positive. So it's 9 plus 16. How much is 9 plus 16? 25. So we know our denominator is 25, but it doesn't help us because all of them have denominator 25. So we really need to do the numerator also. What do we do on the numerator? Well, 5 times 3, 15. 5 times 4i, positive 20i. 2i times 3, positive 6i. And lastly, 2i times 4i. Positive 8i squared. So we have like terms here. How much is 20i plus 6i? 26i. And because of the I squared, the positive 8 turns into what? Negative 8. That means now we have another like term. So 7 plus 26i. And we cannot simplify that. So which one is our answer? D? 7 over 25 plus 26 over 25i. Mm-hmm. 7 over 25 and 26i over 25. So in the final exam, you're going to do the exact same thing. Show your work and circle the correct choice. Either you circle or you simply write on the top. And make sure you circle the correct one, not the wrong one. Any question? Now the last question for today. Find all values of x for which f of x is 3. F of x is 3. What is f of x? The x value or the y value? Y. So y is 3 here. So the x value gives us is -2 and +4.
That's expensive. Watch you get that.
But see, these two are very close. I remember in your in-class exam, many of you picked the last one. Make sure you don't do the same mistake again in the final exam. So in our last class, we are going to do more review.
Wait, Professor, can you already tell me the truth though about the running out of 100?
I didn't check the exam, anyone's exam.
You gotta look about it. How do you like get 100? How would it be great in your class?
Yeah, so I was also surprised, but it happened not only once, but twice or 3 times. I was like, okay, if people get serious, they actually can do well in math.
How do you not? That's
Who knows? Oh, that's it. No.
not responsible. I don't know a lot. Also. Well, I'm not gonna look that wrong. I'm not gonna